Welcome back to my channel, Fit a Little Bit. This video is going to be a review on the Braxton family values that played out on tonight. I decided to go ahead and do the video tonight. I'm going to try to do all the people in order. I'm going to try not to get to the main issue for me this episode. I think this episode was actually called Braxton Family Values as well. The main issue for me was going to be Tamar, how just disappointed I am in her. But I'm going to save that for last like they did on the show. Let's just go right to the chase. The episode started out, I was hopeful. Because, you know, the last two episodes, or 3 episodes have really been about Gabe and the divorce and all of that. So this episode didn't really get into that. So I was so happy to not be talking about Mr. Mystery Man, Gabe, and that little old tied divorce they got going on. So that part was kind of cool, and it was going really good. The producers must have felt like I felt, and they didn't talk a whole lot about Tracy and how she's enabling her son to do this marriage with 25 Cent. She just talked about it very briefly, and that was it, because that's all it really requires. It don't require a whole lot of talk, because she's helping them, you know, ruin their lives basically by having to get married for no reason besides love and moving in her house. So nobody, you know, wants to hear about that, because that's just kind of dumb. He's kind of doing what she did, except for she was pregnant. Tawanda was her same cheerleading self. She really is a good sister. You know, it seems to me she doesn't get a lot for. I want her career to be better. I don't know if she really has any talent besides being a great sister, and that's worth something, you know, too. I see why she's been a good assistant to Toni all those years. She's a really, really good sister. On this episode, she's going to try to be co-hosting. She was auditioning to host a show. I think it's called My Lyrics. The little part they did show, she didn't seem to do really well, but we'll see how that plays out. Trina, Miss Trina, revealed who the knight in shining armor was. I was very shocked, because I really didn't think it was the same construction type guy. She been on a date with him, and it started off a little rocky. He was kind of dry and kind of mean. I really think he thinks she's a dingbat. She was looking really good this episode. I love her new short haircut. I always love their makeup. Short haircut on Trina is perfect. But he said something very funny during that date. He was dry. And she was asked, they started talking about cars or something, and I think she says, does your car begin with an M? And was it a Mitsubishi? And I think he said Maserati or something, but he was dry. But eventually he warmed up a little bit. I don't really have an opinion about him, because his personality is kind of dry, and he kind of, you know, he looks okay, but he looks like a construction like a manager. You know, construction workers are usually buff and look really good and hot. They have probably no brains, but they look really good. Nope, he's just like a real mean manager. I think it's too soon for Trina to be dating, especially if she's gonna jump over and start dating black men. That requires some prep, because she's been dating every race but black, honey. That requires some time and some prepping. Okay, so that's Trina. We're gonna go back to Tracy, who revealed a little bit that she needs to be in AA tonight. She has a serious drinking problem. She's still talking about vodka for breakfast. They should really make a drink like that called vodka breakfast. Anyway, she has a drinking problem. I think the next few episodes is going to be about her going into rehab. She should have been in rehab 20 years ago. I know she's mad that she jacked off her career to have a baby and get married to a man who ultimately cheated on her. Hell, she should be drinking. But she still needs to go to AA. Not to the big point. Miss Tamar, she did not show up for Toni's pre-Grammy Get Dressed event. She did not show up for no part of that episode, part of the episode at all. It was very disappointing, because her and Trina had a conversation, and Tamar really believes she didn't do anything wrong. And don't recall calling them Teletubbies, which all of America saw her call them Teletubbies. Heard her call them Teletubbies. That's her voice. She is completely denying that. That's terrible. She really acts like she is jealous of Toni Braxton, and I'm just ashamed that she behaves this way. And she didn't support Toni, and she's steadily denying how rude and disrespectful she was to her sisters last season when they came to her show and performed, and they did look like Teletubbies, but she still didn't have to throw them on her show and then call them names. This should have been resolved by now. basically that was the whole episode. Mama Evelyn didn't show up a whole lot. I think she gets tired and just be like, whatever, I don't want to film this week. But it was different. It was different. It wasn't just dry. Overall, it was a really good episode, and next week is going to continue with what the hell happened to Tamar and why she didn't show up for the #1 Sisters Grammy receiving event. I'm just disappointed, Tamar. She really needs to grow up and get a little more class. All right, see you guys next week.